stacked somewhere. In that time, that place, right here, right now. Thank you. My name is Ross Gerlbacher. I reside at 8232 North Kilbourne, Skokie. I'm a senior at Niles West Township High School, and I represent the youth group of Temple Judea Mitzvah of Skokie, which has voted to support the handgun resolution. Before reading this article, I want to state that I'm opposed to a referendum on this issue because there are many young people under 18 who are very much affected by this issue but who are unable to vote. The article that I have concerns a young girl who attended Sharp Corners School and who would, if she were still alive today, be graduating from one of the Niles High Schools the same year I shall. The article was written by Arlene S. Uslander of Skokie and is about an 8-year-old girl, Anita. Quote, 8-year-old Anita was smiling from ear to ear when she came to school. On this particular day, she was even happier than usual. I'm so excited I can hardly sit still, she got her best. In exactly 1 month, my mother, my father, my baby brother, and I are going to take a trip to India, where I was born. We're going to visit all our relatives, and we won't be back until school starts next fall. It's going to be so wonderful. It does sound wonderful, I said, smiling, at one of the warmest, kindest, most thoughtful, and sensitive children I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. Several other children who had overheard the conversation quickly gathered around Anita. We'll miss you too, they said sadly. School just won't be the same without you. How could any of us possibly know how much we were going to miss Anita? Just a few days later, on Friday night, April 18th, Anita and her family were visiting in the home of a friend. They were sitting at the dinner table when the host suddenly disappeared into his bedroom and returned a few minutes later holding a revolver in each hand. What happened next is absolutely and unbelievably horrifying. Without uttering a word, the men began to fire the guns. In moments, 9 people had been shot, 4 of them children. Before the nightmare ended, 5 people were dead. One of them was the man who had done the shooting, for he killed himself. One was Anita's father, and one was Anita. Anita's classmates who came to school on Monday morning in a state of utter shock and disbelief, besieged me with questions. Is it really true? Anita isn't dead, is she? How could it happen? Why? Children turn to adults for answer. Yet, often, I think it should be the other way around. I know why Anita is dead, said one of the youngsters. Because the people can buy guns whenever they want to, and no one even stops them. I read in the paper that the man who killed her had 3 guns in his apartment. Why did he have them? He wasn't a policeman. Each of us who knew Anita had their own special memory of her. There was so much to remember. Words like please, thank you, and excuse me were as much a part of this very special childhood vocabulary as and, but, or love. Now I feel that it's my turn to say, excuse me. Excuse me, Anita. Excuse us all. All of us who have turned our heads the other way, while over the years it has become as easy to buy a handgun as a fishing license or a set of golf clubs. Excuse us, Anita, for allowing the leaders of our state and our country to place such low priority on the value of human life. Excuse us and forgive us. I don't want to admit to myself that Anita isn't here anymore, said one of her closest friends with deep despair. I want to talk to her and be with her. She was 8 years old. That means she only lived for 8 years. How much more madness are we going to endure? How many more senseless tragedies have to occur before we finally come to our senses? That is the end of the article. It is now 10 years later. Final question, ladies and gentlemen, is still unanswered. Please help give an answer so that there will be fewer Anitas in the future. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Slightly less than 1 minute remaining. Dr. Belcher.
I
Certainly in the field of medicine, there is tremendous noteworthy success in preventing communicable disease. In recent years, there's much more going on as they go along with the act which is prevent infant injury by car seats, for instance. And everyone wonders, what does all this have to do with this psychiatry? How does this apply to handgun control? A psychiatrist are the most prevalent clinical conditions one sees in depression, a symptom which has many underlying causes.
Excuse me, Dr. Time is up.
While we get ready to take up the other 20 minutes, I just want to inform you that I have a request from Trustee Frank McCabe that does not take a vote on this matter tonight, that there should be a full board present. And so there will be no vote tonight on the ordinance. The vote will be taken more than likely, and if at all possible, on October 3rd. We will arrange to have that meeting again in this hall so that you can all come, be seated, and be comfortable. Corporation Council reminds me, on behalf of myself and the manager, there will be a full agenda that night. As you noticed tonight, we have a very abbreviated agenda in order to get on why you were here. The discussions tonight and all of the transcripts, which we are making a total transcript of this meeting, will be furnished to the trustees who are not here, so that there will be a vote on that Monday night, and they will be informed of everything that transpired here tonight. But there will be no further debate on the session.
Next 20-minute segment given to the Skokie Freedom Committee. The first speaker is Mr. Robert Leland.
He says that next to automobile accidents, handgun deaths are the next leading cause of death among children. But according to the National Safety Council, 50,000 citizens in this country die by automobiles every year. 2 million are injured or maimed by automobiles every year. And that same National Safety Council states that 1,800 die by handguns every year. Where does that rank something 47 places away in the disparity between 50,000 and 1,200? I don't know where Dr. Aronson gets his statistics. And Mrs. McCarthy of the PTA states that it's their premise that they are going to help educate our children. Why are they trying to legislate our children? Wouldn't it be far better if the PTA took the time to educate our children in the proper Charlotte Jaffe says we have a firearm problem in our community. The problem doesn't exist in our community. It exists in Charlotte Jaffe's mind. Charlotte Jaffe appears far more concerned with the rights of the criminal than the victim. Mrs. Jaffe, isn't it your husband who's pushing for legislation to release imprisoned criminals early? Didn't the representative also lower the drinking age and try to legalize marijuana as well? It's no wonder that you want to disarm the public. With all those built-up alcoholic criminals running around, the same 80% will become repeat offenders, like the ones who recently visited Rogers Park. Are they the ones you want to protect, Mrs. Jaffe? Is that what you mean when you say every law is an infringement on someone's freedom? You know, Hitler and Stalin had one thing in common. They shared the idea of a police state providing personal security in return for personal freedom. Give up your rights and personal freedoms and we'll take care of you, they say. Is this the same idea that Mrs. Jaffe shares? Well, I'd like to ask Mrs. Jaffe, how will your police state protect us? How will it provide us with security? It's that kind of logic, Mrs. Jaffe, that led 6 million Jews and 5 million others to the extermination camps in the 30s and the 40s. When I hear that innocent Jews in Paris are slaughtered while in a local restaurant, or in Rome they kill little children who are leaving a synagogue after a bar mitzvah, or in Iran and Argentina where they executed Jews just because of their liberal ideals, or the 3 synagogues recently burned in Connecticut, you'll not convince me that it can't happen again. Ladies and gentlemen, even the liberal Senator Hubert Humphrey believed that history could repeat itself when he said the right of the citizen to keep and bear arms is just one more guarantee against tyranny, which now appears remote in America, but historically has proven to be always possible. Mrs. Catherine Zarkin, who is the president of the Illinois Citizens for Handgun Control, stated that the issue of handgun control is a controversy where facts are often obscured. Well, she should know how true